So multitasking is a process of executing multiple tasks simultaneously. The basic objective of using multitasking is maximum utilization of CPU. It is used for maximum utilization of CPU. CPU should not be idle. If any process is there in the queue, ready queue, okay, meantime CPU should not be idle. One of the processes should be selected by the operating system and assigned to the CPU. That is the basic objective of multitasking. Multitasking can be achieved in two ways. First one is you can say process-based multitasking, known as multiprocessing. Thread-based multitasking, known as multi-threading. So, process-based multitasking, you must understand what exactly a process is. Process means a program under execution is called a process. For example, if you have a file, like say, after compilation of your C program, it generates a.out. So a.out is a program written in binary. The moment you have written /a.out and press enter, that program becomes process. Means this program is under execution. Okay. So what exactly it will do? This signal is what exactly it will do? It will, like say, the operating system is maintaining a queue. That queue is known as a ready queue. Okay. If number of processes interested to execute or wanted to execute, what happen? It will maintain a ready queue. That means these are the processes that are ready to execute. For example, the process P1, our program P1, P2, P3, many processes can coming to the ready queue for execution, but we have only uniprocessor, single processor. This is our processor. So the job of operating system, one of the job that is scheduling, what it will do, it will schedule the job or the process to the processor. Okay, so it can pick up one of the process from the ready queue and assign to the processor. Okay, so there are various scheduling algorithms are there. The simplest scheduling algorithm is fast come, fast serve. FCFS. Fast come, fast serve. That means the process is coming fast to the ready queue has to be processed fast. Okay. So there are many scheduling algorithms. One of the simplest scheduling algorithm is fast come, fast serve. If it is using this FCFS, it means it will pick up the fast process from the ready queue assigned to the processor. If this process is blocked temporarily, the process P1 is blocked temporarily. Temporarily, it may be blocked because of various reasons. One of the reason is, suppose P1 having an IO operation. As you know that IO operation is costly, it takes time. Suppose this IO operation P1 is going for IO operation, one of the instruction is doing IO operation is taking say 3 minutes of time. So meantime your CPU, meantime your operating system pick up the other processes, those who are there in the ready queue, select one of the process and assign to the processor. So we do not want to make the CPU ideal. We want to engage the CPU. We want to increase the throughput or maximize the throughput. That is what our objective is. That is why we need multiprocessing. Okay. So this is what this is how your multiprocessing is done. There is process. The process means program under execution. Okay, so when we execute a program, your OS will load this program into memory, that is your primary memory. Okay, it reserves some memory. This memory block is known as address space of the process. Address space of the process. Or process address space. Okay, so it is this process address space. Again, there is a virtual partition. You can say mainly 4 important parts are there. Okay, one is your stack. This is a shared memory, shared used by stack and heap. That is heap, something you are allocating dynamically heap. Stack is a local variable. Function called return value generally stored in stack. Then there is a data where you can store static and global data, and text. Text is your program code segment. That is your text. So these are the things stored in the, what is that? one block of memory reserved by operating system for your program, that is known as process address space. Okay, so to keep track about the process, what are the processes currently executing, the operating system maintain a large database or huge database. Okay, that is known as process control block, PCB, process control block. It is like a process control block is unique for each process having their own process control block. For example, your operating system maintains the PCB for like for say process P1, the process control block, let's say process control block for P1. Another process is come for execution, that is your PCB, say process P2. So it is maintaining also a queue, something like this. Okay, this is PCB. So it is maintaining a linked list. So this is what your start is. So these are the processes under execution. So it is maintaining a huge data structure known as PCB. And PCB is each node of your linked list is keep track about a process. Suppose this is for process P1, so everything is there. What is the process ID? Who is the user executing it? What is the permission? Okay, and what is the PID of this process? Who is the parent of this process? What are the files it is using? Everything is being maintained. What is the current status of the process? Everything about the process is maintained over here. That is known as PCB, process control block. That is what we have discussed, right? Or what is the priority of a process? Many things, right? So this is how multiprocessing is done, right? Process address space, as we have discussed, stack, heap, data, text segment. Previous class we have discussed. Text means sections comprises the compiled program code. Read in the form of non-volatile storage when the program is launched. So it load from non-volatile storage or disk to your memory. Okay, data segment. The data section stores global and static variable generally. Heap is used to store dynamic memory allocations, like say if using C, you are allocating memory like you are allocating the memory like malloc, calloc, realloc, or releasing the memory free, everything, whatever you are allocating using those uh, library call, so that is allocated in heap. Then stack is generally used to store local variable, function call, function parameter, function return value, those type of things is stored in stack. So we have already discussed this process control block. I have given you the brief overview. Today we will start what is a thread. So far what we have discussed, what is multiprocessing. So we understand multiprocessing. Whenever you are saying the multiprocessing, multiple processes run concurrently. Suppose this is P1. If you create another process P2, their memory is different. They cannot share the memory. The memory is different. Suppose it has a number of instructions. Okay, the program counter here PC is also different. Here also program counter. Suppose process P1 already 3 instructions being executed. So process counter PC become 4. Here also 1 instruction, let's say, executed. So PC of this process is 2. PC means program counter, which store the next instruction to be executed. So this is also different. The program counter from process to process is also varies, right? And each process having their own ID, own address space, different address space. This is how multiprocessing is done. So now let us discuss what is multi-threading. So prior to that, let us discuss what exactly a thread is, right? A thread is a path of execution within a process. Very important. A thread is a path of execution within a process. That means in a same process or in a same program, you can have multiple strands of execution. That means you can have different threads. So it will execute under the address space of the process T1, T2. Let's say this process P is creating 2 threads T1 and T2. So it will run under the address space of the same process. Okay, we have set up instruction. Okay, so we can create number of threads that are assigned to do different tasks, and that can run concurrently. those threads can run under the address space of the process. No different address space is available. Okay, that is what saying it will run within a process, and process contain multiple threads. One process, a process can control multiple threads. Not okay. One process can create multiple threads, and those threads can run concurrently or parallelly. Okay, a thread is also known as lightweight process. That is why the thread is known as lightweight process. Why lightweight process? I will come to that point. It's a very important point. Okay, lightweight process is known as heavyweight process. Thread is known as lightweight process. Let me explain right now. Process is known as heavyweight process. Heavyweight process means when the processor is executing one process. Suppose this is what your processor executing one process P1. So after executing 4 or 5 instructions of P1, there may be a switch. It will take P2 and execute couple of instructions of P2. That is known as switching. That is known as switching between the process. Switching between the process. So this switching is known as context switch. Please remember, this switching is known as context switching. Okay. So it will, if there will be a context switch, that means it will save the current state of P2, load the current state of P1. Okay. What all tasks it is doing when it switches from process to process? Save the current state of P2 means everything, which instruction currently executing, what are the resources using, what are the local variable initialization, everything has to be saved. Then it will load P1. Right? So for context switch is very costly over here whenever there will be multi-processing. But in case of multi-threading, minimal things has to be saved and there will be a switch. Yes. Here context switch is switching between the threads is very fast because very few things has to be saved and it will switch because it is executed under the address space of the same process. That is why thread is known as lightweight process and this is known as heavyweight process. So many things has to be saved when it switches from process to process. Okay, threads are executed under the address space of the process. We have already discussed, right? And what are the things? Is here in case of multiprocessing, everything is different. It will copy the. It will create a replica. Suppose one parent process create a child process, so it will copy the what is that code over here. If the current state has to be copied, so it is P2 is now the replica of P1. And they can run parallelly different address space. Okay, but whenever we are running multiple threads, they are running under the address space of the process. So what are the things? Except two things, everything is common. Here, everything is different. Okay, so here, except two things, everything is common. What is that? Program counter, PC. Program counter. Suppose this thread executing third instruction, this thread now executes a 10th instruction. So the PC of this thread and PC of this thread has to be defined. Program counter and stack. Suppose some local variable used by here, local variable, so different stack. It is using different stack and some of the command register. Apart from that, everything is same in case of threading. They are running on the same address space. Is that clear? This is the important point where you distinguish between thread and process. So what is common in case of multi-threading? Yes, sir. What is different in case of multi-threading? Only two things are there. Program counter. You can say three things. One of the register, set of register, some set of register used, and stack. Apart from that, everything is same in case of multi-threading. So when it switches from one thread to another thread, only these three things has to be saved and it will switch from thread 1 to thread 2 or T1 to T2, T2 to T1. But in case of multi-processing, so it will save many things for switching from process to process. That is why it is known as thread is known as a lightweight process, where process is known as heavyweight process. Thread is a process, thread is a lightweight process. Is that clear? Hello? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
See here, when this is a simple program. This program is create a number of threads. Okay, so here let's say for this example, it is creating 3 threads. Say this is a thread T1, thread T2, thread T3. So what is different? Stack and program counter PC and register. And T2 register program, some of the register, some of the program some of the register program counter stack is different, and T3 is different. Apart from that, every data files, whatever it is using, that is shared, right? Except local variable, other data being global variable is being shared, right? And files it is using the resources is being shared. Okay, it's the code segment and first thread, second thread, third thread. So you can create number of threads, they can run parallel. Okay, so we based on our requirement we can decompose what all thread has to be the what all task. Okay, कौन सा thread को क्या task देंगे हम decide करेंगे. Okay, to maximum utilization of CPU, we should not make our CPU ideal. Okay, we can create multiple thread and assign it. The best example of using multi-threading is your web browser, you can say, or your server. Any server you have implemented. Server is also a program. Server is a program. This program, when you execute server, that become a process. What the server will do, it can deal with many clients. Suppose C1 is connected to the server. What it will do? It create one thread, T1. T1 thread will take care about the client C1. See, another client is now connected. So what it will do? It create another thread, T2. T2 thread will take care about client 2. So n number of client is now connected, n number of thread is being created, Tn number of threads. Single process, one program that create number of threads, and each thread will take care about one client. This is the best example of where you use thread. There actually it hardly you find a application developed in Java without using multi-threading. That is why this topic is very important. Okay, very conceptual. Okay, little bit of operating system concept is required. Whatever is necessary, I am also explaining those things. Okay, in future if it is required some of the concept also, that time I will explain. If you face any difficulties, please interrupt. So is that clear to all of you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, this part is very interesting. I personally feel this is very interesting. Okay. I also like. Okay, when you do for parallel programming, it is a really very interesting kind of stuff. Okay, we'll solve a couple of programs parallelly, or a couple of problem. Okay, we can execute it parallelly by creating multiple threads. So it will be more interesting. So thread, what we understand, thread are independent. Thread are independent. Independent means one process. We have one process. That process can create multiple threads, T1, T2, T3. So the code segment of T1, T2 are different. They are independent. They run independently. Okay. T1 is executing a third instruction. There will be a context switch. So it will switch to T2. Say T2 is executing the 10th instruction. Then there may be a context switch. Say T1 is in 5 instructions. This program counter of here it is 6. Program counter here it is 11. Program counter here T1 is, suppose if it is executing third, fourth instruction. So stack means current state stack, local variable stored in stack, that these are different. So this is how the thread are being created. So threads are independent. These threads are independent. There is independent number of tasks you are assigning. Okay. If there occur exception in one thread, it does not affect for other thread. Though it is running under the address space of the same process, if there is an exception in thread T1, that does not affect for thread T2 also. And it used a shared memory. It used shared memory. That means block of memory which is shared, and that can be used by T1, T2, T3. Suppose T1 wanted to send some data or information or communication to T2, so it can use the shared memory. यहाँ पे लिख देगा T1 read करेगा. T2 अगर कुछ भेजना चाहता है, so it can use the shared memory. They can write it over here, so T1 can make use of that. Clear? There is no, like say, for communication between the thread, no IPC is required. IPC means, previous class we have discussed, inter-process communication. In case of multi-processing, you have to establish the connections, that is your, you can say IPC, inter-process communication. Various IPC are there. Example of IPC is, say, socket, pipe, shared memory, semaphore, many IPC are there. So you have to create that IPC, and through this IPC they can communicate. So process communication is done through an IPC. Here no IPC is required because they can use the shared memory. But here no shared, you cannot share the data. There is no, like say, even if it is a global variable, it's also, this global variable is different from another process. Okay, they cannot communicate. They can only communicate through IPC. But in case of thread, no IPC is required. Okay, that is one advantage of multi-threading over multiprocessing. Thread is executed inside the process. That is a thread. Multi-threading is much more faster than multiprocessing. That is also performance issue. Performance point of view, people are use multi-threading rather multiprocessing. There is a context switching between the threads. Yes, like your context switching between the process, there is also context switching between the context switching means okay, context switching means it, suppose one thread is using the processor, okay, after some millisecond, okay, the fixed millisecond, after let's say 5 milliseconds, it will switch and face another thread which is there in the ready queue and execute. That is known as context switch. Okay, there can be multiple processes inside the OS, and one process can have multiple threads. That means there can be multiple process, okay, and one process can have multiple threads. Okay, process-based multitasking, as we have seen, just summarize here. Each process has an address space or a different address space. In other words, each process allocates a separate block of memory in case of multiprocessing. Okay, whatever I discussed, just brief overview here. Process are heavyweight process. We have discussed why it is heavyweight, and context switching take more time because of it is heavyweight. The switching take more time. Okay, it requires sometimes to load the register, the current state, and load everything. And cost of communication between the processes is high because you need a communication channel known as IPC, interprocess communication, to communicate between the process, and they are working in the different address space. So you need to communicate. So the communication between the process is very high. Okay, and it required IPC. That is why I am saying it is required IPC, interprocess communication, for execution. Then thread-based multitasking. Threads share the same address space. That is the very important point of thread. Threads share the same address space. Okay, same within the same addresses we can have multiple threads. Thread is lightweight. Cost of communication between thread and process is very low. That is the important difference between thread and process. Many interview people are used for difference between multi-threading and multiprocessing. Okay, you can, the first point you can write, process is a heavyweight process, thread is a lightweight process. Okay, threads share the same address space, process does have a different address space. Okay, communication between the processes is high because you need IPC for communication, and communication between the thread is very low. It takes less time because they are running under the address space of the process. So context switching is very fast. So you can say context switching is far low here, slow here in case of multiprocessing. Context switching is fast in case of multi-threading. That is the main difference between multi-threading and multiprocessing. Right? Okay. Then this is what the difference I have written over here. Process are heavyweight tasks, thread are lightweight tasks. Each process has own address space, so they don't share the address space. Threads execute under the address space of the process. Context switching between the processes are slow in case of multiprocessing, whereas context switching between the threads are fast. IPC is required to communicate between the process. No IPC is required to communicate between the process. Between the threads. Okay. So now, Let us discuss a little bit of multi-threading, the life cycle of multi-threading or thread state. What are the stages the thread generally undergoes when it executes? You can expect such type question in your exam. Okay. Generally, the thread undergoes, these are the important stages. Okay. What are the stages? Newborn state. Okay. When you create a thread, the thread is in newborn state. Okay. Then you start it. Okay. Thread is moving to the, what is that? Runnable state. Then thread is running. The meantime thread can stop. Okay. Thread can be stop in the sense you can exit the thread. That means thread can be dead. Then when it executes, meantime it can go for block. Thread can be blocked temporarily. Suppose you could sleep, okay, suspend or wait. So there are some function that will block the thread for temporarily. When it blocks, it is coming to the block state. Once the block time is over, for example, the thread is sleeping for t millisecond. Once this t millisecond is over, so it can be resumed. Again come to the runnable state. Okay, when the processor is ready, it moves to the running state. Okay, when it is blocked also, sometimes you can stop the thread. Thread can also be dead. So these are the stages generally the thread undergoes when you execute. Okay, so newborn state, when we want to create a thread object, a thread is born. Then it is said to be born state. Okay, we will discuss how we can create a thread object. Okay, thread is a newborn state. The moment you create an object of thread class, we will discuss. Okay, thread is a newborn state. In this state, we can do by using the start method. Okay, runnable state, it means that a thread is ready for execution. Runnable in the sense the thread is ready for execution, not executing. The thread is ready, that means it is there in the ready queue. The thread T1 is there in the ready queue, that is runnable state. Right? When the thread is assigned to the processor, that means thread is in running state. Okay, runnable state means the thread is ready for execution and is waiting for the availability of the processor. Once the processor is available, then thread can, if the thread get a chance to use the processor, then thread is moving to the running state. It means that the processor has given its time to the thread for its execution. That is what your running state is. Okay, the thread runs until it relinquishes control on its own or it preempted by a higher priority thread. Thread will keep on running until what it will, it is voluntary, that means I have done my work voluntarily, get the control, that means I have done, I can go for dead state. Or one of the higher priority process thread comes into ready queue and preempt and forcefully remove from the processor and the higher priority process will assign. The thread can keep in the running state till it's not completed its task or move from running state to other state till one higher priority process comes and forcefully remove that particular thread and assign the higher priority process. Okay. Then block state. In this state, the thread is temporarily inactive. Thread is not dead. Thread is temporarily inactive. Okay. Or thread is, you can say thread sleep for a couple of milliseconds. But a thread is alive. Please remember, thread is not dead. In block state, thread is blocked temporarily. Okay. For example, thread is EU sleep. Okay, sleep for 5 milliseconds. So what it will do? It is moving to the block state. Other thread get a chance to use the processor. Okay. Then dead state. That is the final state. Okay. Then thread is dead. The running thread ends its life when it completed execution. Executing its run method. It's run method. When it is complete, then thread is in dead state. This is a natural death. Once the run method last session is executing, then another thread is dead. That is the natural death of the thread. Meantime, suppose thread having 100 instructions, suppose in the 10th instruction there is a problem, thread is stopped. That means this is not natural death. There is an accident, you can say. We can kill the thread by using stop method. Meantime we can kill the thread also. Forcefully kill the thread. Suppose thread having 100 instructions, at the 10th instruction I can kill it. So that is not natural death. Okay, so this is the fundamental concept about multi-threading. Any doubt? Any doubt? Hello.
Sir, can you once again repeat that lightweight and heavyweight difference?
Sure. Okay, just let me show you lightweight and heavyweight. Good. Just go through it. Let me take the attendance. Just after that, I will discuss it. Okay. Roll number 1 is absent. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5 is absent. Okay. 6, 7 is present. 6, 7 present. 8, 9, 10, 11. Roll 12 is absent. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 absent. 18 Gaurav and Siddharth. Both have mentioned 18.
Sir, 18 is my. Siddharth is roll number 36.
Okay. 17, 18, 19, 20. Roll 20. Absent. Okay. 21, 22. Absent. 23, 24, 25, 26, 26, 27, 28, 29 is absent. 29 is a 30, and 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 35 is absent. 36, 37, 38, 40, 40%, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46 is absent, 47, 48, 49, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Okay, so as Akash is asking one question, okay, that is also important question. He wanted to know what exactly a lightweight process, why thread is known as a lightweight process, why process is known as a heavyweight process. Is this your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When, say, previous class we have discussed the streaker, we have a process. Okay, process means number of instructions are there. One program, number of instructions are there. Right, local variable, many things, many instructions are there. Okay, we have a process. So this process having a system called fork. Fork will create a child process, isn't it? Previous class we have discussed. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you invoke fork, when we execute a process having their own address space. Okay, in primary memory, it will reserve block of memory under which the process will execute. So process having their own running in the address. When you invoke for, what happens? It will create, it will block a also reserve another block of memory and load the process, save the current state of the process. Everything has to be saved. Okay, this is the code segment has to be saved. Right? Apart from code segment, what it will say? Current stack state, heap state, okay, data segment. If it is using some of the resources, everything, and your process control block is different, PCB is different because PCB is for each process. Keep track about the process. PCB is different, address space is different. So everything has to be regenerated. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for that point of view, it is saying that it is a heavyweight process. It is an independent process. Okay. They are having independent address space, independent process control block. Okay. So they will run concurrently. They can have their independent task. They can run concurrently. Okay. So two processes running concurrently. That means in the queue, P1 and P2, let's say two processes are running concurrently, but they are different address space, different PCB. Okay. PCB they use data structure. Whenever you are talking about multi-threading, one process here we are creating parent and child process. Okay. So in case of multi-threading, one process create number of threads. That and so that thread will run under the address space of the process. क्या क्या copy करेगा? See what is the what are things when it create another thread? Suppose the process is creating threads T1. So what are things it will copy? Everything is common. Okay. No same it is running under the same address space, same process control block. Clear? In the process control block, only one thing is there updated, that is the thread is being created, that thread status is this. So these things is being updated. And the same, what is the PCB of the process control block. Okay. So in this thread, only this thread, what is the different? Only difference is program, your PC, register, some of the command register and stack. Okay, and the PC means it store the next instruction to be executed. Only these three things will be different. Only these three things will be copied or updated. Apart from that, everything is same. So that is why it is known as lightweight process. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So that is why thread is known as lightweight. Very few things. Only these three things. Program counter, stack pointer, and register, or stack and register. Okay. Apart from that, everything is same. They can share the memory. If there is a memory, they can share. Okay. Or is using some of the resources, that resources can be used by T1 and T2. Okay. Everything is same. Even if whenever it switch from thread to thread, what happens? Only these three things has to be saved and it load T2. But in case of multi-processing, if there is a switch, that switch is technically we are saying context switch. Context switch. And this context switch will take more time because it saves the current state of, suppose P2 is currently using the CPU. So it saves everything, current state of the process P2 and load P1. Okay, that is why the context switch take more time here. But here the switching between the thread is take less time. Why? Only these three things need to be saved to switch between the process, and they are running under the address space of different address space को जाना नहीं पड़ेगा, same address space का switch हो जाएगा. That is why most of the application people used to prefer multi-threading based rather multi-processing. And most of the scenario multi-processing performance is better. Multi-threading is a better choice than multi-processing. Now I am asking you one question, assigning, that is you can take as an assignment. Is always multi-threading is advantageous than multi-processing, or is there any scenario where multi-processing is better than multi-threading? That is a question to you. Okay, solve the answer in Google and let me know in the next class. Is the question clear to all of you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The question is, see, most of the scenario, as I have told you, most of the scenario, most of the application people are using multi-threading because it is faster. Definitely it's faster because it is lightweight and switching between the threads is faster. Okay, context switching faster, and there is no IPC is required. They can communicate. There is a variable. You can have a variable. T1 is updating it. It will also get this updated value. With this, mute yourself. Correct. Mute yourself. Then no IPC is required in case of thread. Suppose we are having a variable. This variable can be updated by T1. T2 can get this. Suppose T1 wanted to send some information to T2, they can update this variable, and this variable updation can read by T2. But here it is not possible because the variable, if it is updated over here, it is not reflected to the process P2. So there must be a communication. Okay, that is known as IPC. Through IPC, they can communicate. So people are prefer multi-thread based application rather than multiprocessing. For best example is server. If you implement a server is a program. Is for whenever it is dealing with a different client, different threads is being created. T1, T2, T3, likewise for different clients it is handling. Okay, most of the application people are using multi-threaded application rather than multiprocessing application. Now my question is multi-threaded based application is always advantageous than multiprocessor based application, or is there a scenario where multiprocessing is the better choice than multi-threading? What is that scenario? Okay, that is what your question is. You just answer me in the next class. Think about it. It's not a simple question. Okay, search in internet. Okay, if you get the answer, just realize it whether you understood this answer correctly or not. Okay, feel it. ऐसा नहीं कि रटा मार के आके एक्सप्लेन करो. Okay, so
sir, suppose that server is the program. Now, what
okay,
does T2 and T3 contain?
server is a program. Okay, thread T1, T2, T3. Suppose 3 clients is connected, right? C1, C2, C3 is connected. So T1 is take care about C1, T2 is take care about C2, T3 is take care about C3. Now your question is what?
What does T1, T2 and T3 contain?
T1 having a code. This code, what it will do? Suppose there is a communication with T1 and C1. There is a chatting. Suppose it is sending some text, hello. Okay, so T1 also can respond, able to respond it. They can also read some data. He can say hi. So these communication details can keep by T1, or same information can store in a database. Whatever it communicated with the C1, they can. There is a database connection. The T1 is connected to the database, stored whatever chatting they have done. Okay, past information can be stored over here. Based on your requirement, you can assign the task to T1, T2, T3. Mostly the common instructions, the common type of task they are doing. Okay, the code segment mostly common, but whatever information they are communicating, whatever text is communicating, let's say they are saving it. Per se, for simplicity, it is T1 is communicating C1, just a chatting program, and they are also chatting. Also, they are saving the whatever they chat. So those text they have saved. So what it will do? T1, T2, T3, all the threads having the same code because they are using the same kind of operation, isn't it?
Sir, the code that is contained in T1, T2, T3 is the same as the code contained in S.
Yeah, this type of scenario almost same. It will receive a text, okay? Then read a text, send it. Receive a text, read a text, send it. And those text has to be, suppose periodically after 5 milliseconds or something like that, it will save in the database. Same instruction you can write for T1, T2, T3. And if you implement something like say this client C5 is a special client, I will treat it specially. So suppose another thread T5 has to take care. So T5 code may be slightly different. What type of special treatment you have to provide to T5? Okay. Otherwise, most of the scenario the code segment is same. For example, Amazon, different user are there. Okay, you are looking for a particular product P1. Okay, for you, one thread is take care of what all product you are looking at. Okay, what all product you have like say interested for, what all product you like, what you dislike, everything is means keep track about a thread T1. Okay, they can also use some kind of recommendation. Okay, different recommendation techniques they can use, and they can also recommend. For you, one thread is running, you can just one thread is looking at you once you connect it. Okay, mostly let's say for prime user the threads are different, their code is slightly different. For general user the code segment is different. So based on the requirement you have to write the code. If it is a prime user, you create this type of thread. If it is a general user, you create this type of thread. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
One process, Amazon is one process is running, there is having a one server, okay, but they can have different threads. Okay, so every application is multi-thread based, so please understand this concept carefully. Okay, the students those are connected today, I think they are interested, they know they are interested for Java. They actually, as I have repeatedly told you, it's very important concept, and almost 11 12 students are not joined. That means they are gone case.
Sir, one more thing.
Yes.
Sir, you said that the process address means that P1, P2, there is that a linked list means connected in the form of linked list.
नहीं just that is PCB, प्रोसेस कंट्रोल ब्लॉक. प्रोसेस कंट्रोल ब्लॉक कैसे करता है देखो, तुम्हारे पास सपोज यू आर रनिंग प्रोसेस P1, P2, P3, sorry P3, P4, they are in the ready queue. They are ready queue in the sense they are ready to execute. One processor is there. We have one processor. They are ready to execute. So what your operating system is doing? Operating system को पता चलना चाहिए कि P1 का status क्या है, P2 का whatever processor there is the ready queue, they must know what are the status of this process, whether it is there in the ready queue, whether it is blocked, what are the resources using, what are the file it is opening, or it is communicated to somebody. What everything has to be maintained. So it is maintaining a huge data structure that is known as PCB. That is known as what is PCB, process control block. Suppose P1, what is the ID of this process? Who created this process? Okay. What is the permission? ID. Suppose parent ID. Who is the parent? Parent ID, PID. PID, this one is PID, process ID. This is PPID, parent process ID. Who is the parent of this process? अगर ये किसका चाइल्ड प्रोसेस है तो उसका पेरेंट कौन है? Okay, what are the permission? Who is the user is executing it? Okay, what are the file resources it is using? What is the state of the process? Many things. Okay, stored in PCB. So for each process there is a PCB. Suppose P2 also having the same thing. So operating system उसको कैसे maintain करेगा? It must maintain a linked list. Okay.
Sir, one thing, sir, I want to ask.
Just now let me complete. It is a start. This is maintaining a linked list. That is referring to this one, and this is a node. This is a node. Each process information is a node, and this node again refer to another node. So it is just like a node. Each process information is stored in the form of a node. Likewise, there is many number of processes. It's the end of the. It is maintaining a linked list. Is that clear? Somebody has asked me this question.
Sir, if they're connected in the form of a linked list, then why that IPC addresses IPC means is necessary?
Pardon? Come again.
That inter-process communication is necessary for
Inter-process communication.
If they're connected in the linked list, then they can directly switch.
Connected in the linked list, they can directly what?
Switch means from one program to another program.
No, inter-process communication is different. For example, process P1 is running, P2 is running. P1 sends a hi to P2. How it will send? यहाँ पे इससे related कुछ नहीं है ना?
Sir, but they're connected in the form of linked list, so the addresses.
Connected means PCB is connected. PCB means ये operating system रखता है, OS रखता है इसको. उसका रखता है प्रोसेस के बारे में क्या क्या, मतलब तुम्हारा बारे में मेरा डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन है। सपोज तुम्हारा बारे में मेरा डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन है, तुम क्या कर रहे हो, तुम्हारा करंट स्टेटस क्या है, तुम्हारा CGPA क्या है, तुम कहाँ पे रहते हो, एवरीथिंग इज देयर। बट कम्युनिकेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, वन प्रोसेस टू अनदर प्रोसेस, आई हैव टू यूज वन मीडिया ना, you have to use the phone to call you. Okay, that is what your IPC is, phone or some WhatsApp message I can call you. PCB क्या करता है, तुम्हारा बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन रखता है, बट इट कैन नॉट कम्युनिकेट विथ यू। PCB कम्युनिकेट नहीं करता है, प्रोसेस टू प्रोसेस कम्युनिकेट। PCB जस्ट मेंटेन बाय द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम टू कीप ट्रैक अबाउट द प्रोसेस। समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, somebody else is asking some question. Yes.
Sir, I was asking like P1, P2, P3 are saying that they are in a linked list form, right? So that means that P2 can't be finished before P1.
ना फिनिशिंग, ये तो फिनिशिंग के लिए रखा है नहीं ना, ये प्रोसेस कंट्रोल ब्लॉक रखता है ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम खुद मेंटेन करता है। मैं ये ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का अंदर कौन कौन प्रोसेस अभी एग्जीक्यूट कर रहे हैं, उसका स्टेटस क्या है, वो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के लिए है।
सर बट वो काउंटर जो करता है, प्रोसेस काउंटर जो उसका रहता है, उसका सर जो वो पहले P2 का फिनिश होगा, ऐसा हो सकता है क्या?
नहीं ऐसा नहीं, डिपेंड्स करता है। सपोज P2 का अभी P2 का नंबर ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन 5 है, ओके, सिंपल इंस्ट्रक्शन, एंड P1 का से 1000 नंबर ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन है, P2 तक पहले से कंप्लीट भी हो सकता है।
Okay.
अगर वो कंप्लीट हो गया तो ये नोड डिलीटेड।
सर बट तो वो लिंक लिस्ट है सर, वो फिर अरेंज हो जाएगा क्या डिलीट होकर?
सपोज
So like you
P2 का और लेट मी कंप्लीट, P2 का 5 इंस्ट्रक्शन है, ठीक है।
yes sir.
So P2, suppose your P2 get a chance for the processor. So P2 क्या करेगा, P2 उसका 5 इंस्ट्रक्शन क्विकली कंप्लीट हो जाएगा। होने के बाद क्या करेगा, P2 has to be dead.
Yes sir.
P2 डेड होगा तो क्या होगा, उसका जो एड्रेस स्पेस वो भी हट जाएगा,
Yes sir.
PCB भी हट जाएगा। मतलब योर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम क्या सर्च करेगा, कहाँ पे P2 है, ये एक लिंक लिस्ट है ना, सर्च करेगा ये तुम्हारा P2 है, तो ये नोड को डिलीट, तुम जो लिंक लिस्ट का नोड डिलीट करते हो पता है ना,
Yes sir. Yes sir.
वैसे करके ये नोड को डिलीट कर देगा, P2 खत्म।
Yeah.
तो इसका
Okay.
अंदर इंस्ट्रक्शन का कोई कुछ नहीं रहेगा, ओनली कौन सा इंस्ट्रक्शन नेक्स्ट एग्जीक्यूट होगा वो पता चलेगा, वो रखेगा प्रोग्राम काउंटर। ओके,
Yes sir. But
इस
sir,
प्रोग्राम का कोड सेगमेंट डिफरेंट है, वो एड्रेस स्पेस में रहेगा, एड्रेस स्पेस में। हाँ बोलो। हाँ
yes
बोलो
sir.
बोलो।
सर वही हम बोल रहे थे कि वो क्या रखेगा, वो तो ठीक है, बट वो दूसरा में स्विच कब करेगा, मतलब खत्म होने के बाद ही ना करेगा, तो वो
जब
पहले होगा
स्विच
या
करता
बाद
है,
में?
यहाँ पे ओनली फ्यू इंफॉर्मेशन इज देयर। स्विच जब करता है करंट स्टेट क्या क्या है वही अपडेट होता है। स्विचिंग फ्रॉम प्रोसेस टू प्रोसेस, यहाँ पे नोड स्विच नहीं होता, नोड का कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन, कुछ एट्रीब्यूट अपडेट होता है। सपोज
Yes.
अभी ब्लॉक हो गया मतलब कुछ एट्रीब्यूट जिसका स्टेट है ब्लॉक स्टेट हो जाएगा, सो वही एट्रीब्यूट को चेंज करेगा, ठीक है। तुम्हारा नोड का डिफरेंट से नोड तुम क्या किए हो, तुम एक्चुअली डेटा स्ट्रक्चर में एक डाटा एक पॉइंटर टू द नेक्स्ट नोड ऐसे करते हो नहीं। अगर मैं लिस्ट ऑफ स्टूडेंट रखूंगा, क्या स्टूडेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन, नेम, रोल नंबर, एवरीथिंग रखूंगा, वन एड्रेस विच इज पॉइंटिंग टू द नेक्स्ट नोड, ऐसे भी नोड रहता है। एक्चुअली रियल लाइफ एप्लीकेशन ऐसा ही रहता है, तुम लोग इम्प्लीमेंट किया डेटा नेक्स्ट, इसी हिसाब से समझे हो, इसीलिए कंफ्यूज हो रहा नहीं। वन ऑफ द नोड इज हैविंग ए पॉइंटर विच इज पॉइंट टू द नेक्स्ट नोड, एवरीथिंग इज डेटा। ओके, ओनली फ्यू एट्रीब्यूट हैज टू बी अपडेटेड। यहाँ पे ये मेंटेन करता है ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम जानने के लिए ये प्रोसेस का स्टेट क्या है, क्या क्या कर रहा है, अभी क्या क्या यूज कर रहा है, बस। प्रोसेस जो एग्जीक्यूट हो रहा है वो डिफरेंट है, उसका कोड सेगमेंट डिफरेंट है, वो एड्रेस स्पेस में है, पीसीबी में नहीं, ठीक है। वंस दिस कोड सेगमेंट इज ओवर, दैट मींस प्रोसेस इज डिलीटेड। डिलीटेड मींस सम सिग्नल इज कम टू द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम आल्सो डिलीट द प्रोसेस कंट्रोल ब्लॉक फॉर दिस प्रोसेस, सो इट सर्च, हाँ ये यहाँ पे मिल गया, उसको रिमूव करो, हटाओ उसको, जस्ट डिलीट ए नोड फ्रॉम ए लिंक लिस्ट। क्लियर? पीआईडी इससे है ना, सपोज ये प्रोसेस जो रन कर रहा है P1, उसका पीआईडी 100 है, so ये 100, so it will search a process having PID 100 and it will remove it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Or still doubt, please let me know. ये डाउट होगा डेफिनेटली, इट इज एक्सपेक्टेड बिकॉज ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम हम लोग पढ़े नहीं, इसलिए होगा। अगर हो रहा है तो अच्छा है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। डू नॉट हेजिटेट, प्लीज कैरी ऑन। Okay, so now let me okay, so now let us discuss. We have discussed till now the fundamental concept behind multitasking. There are two approaches to do multitasking: process-based multitasking, thread-based multitasking. Okay, in Java we can do thread-based multitasking. So how we can create a thread, how we can run parallel, let us discuss. Okay, create a thread in Java. How we can create a thread in Java? It is very simple to deal with multi-threading in Java. In C++, as compared to Java, okay, it is little bit of difficult, but in Java it is very easy. Multi-threading concept, to implement multi-threading, it's really very easy to understand. Okay, conceptually same, but it is easy to understand. Okay, so many APIs, so many functions is available for you. Okay, so there are two ways to create a thread in Java. What is that? By extending a thread class. Thread is a predefined class, you can extend it by extending a thread class. By extending a thread class. Okay, another approach is by implementing the runnable interface. So there are two approaches. You can create a thread, okay, either by extending the thread class or by implementing the runnable interface. Okay, so in
Sir, your screen is not visible.
not visible. Okay, okay, that is why it is. Is it visible now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are two ways to create a thread. As I have told you, first one is by extending thread class. Thread is a predefined class. Okay, thread is a predefined class, right? Either you can extend from the thread class. This thread is available in java.lang. Java is a package, lang is a sub-package under which we are having a thread class. So it is a predefined class. So when you create a thread, you simply extend from the thread class. That is one approach. Other approach is, or you can implement an interface that is a runnable interface. Okay, one of the predefined runnable interfaces there, you can implement it. So there are two approaches. You can create a thread, okay, by extending a thread class or by implementing runnable interface. Okay, so thread class, let me give the brief overview of thread class. What we'll be finding: thread class having overloaded constructor. So many constructors are there. One of the constructor is not taking any parameter, that is the default constructor. Okay, if you invoke it, it will create a thread and it's not taking any parameter. Another constructor is a thread string name. You can provide name here. You can provide a string that you can assign with the name of the thread. You can give a name of a thread. Okay, it's taking one parameter. Okay, thread also it is taking another reference, runnable reference. Okay, also another thread constructor is there. First parameter runnable reference also along with that name. You can provide the name also. So these are the thread constructor or the constructor of thread class. Okay, so we'll have a detailed discussion. We'll be using everything in our program. So let us come to Java. Let us write a simple program which will create a thread. All of you give your full attention. Okay. Any point if it's difficult, please interrupt me. So to creating a thread, what you can do is, see, you extend from the thread class. Okay. Define a new class. Thread is main thread. You are define a new class, and that should be extend from the thread class. Thread is a predefined class. Clear? And there you override this method. Override the run method. Sorry, small. This method need to be overridden. Very important. Please remember. This run method, inside run method, actually the code you are writing, that means this is the task you are assigning to the thread. Repeat, the task that you want to assign a thread, okay, that task has to be right inside the run method. So you override the run method. Run method is there in the thread class. You need to override the run method. What instruction you have to place inside the thread? That means the instruction that you want to assign to thread, that you write inside the run method. Is that clear to all of you? Or should I repeat?
So any instruction we write will work.
Pardon?
We can write any instruction inside run,
Yeah.
even if
Suppose,
it's in the program.
Definitely. Suppose I want to assign a task for a thread Q1. You read a number n. Okay, I am providing a number n. You check the number is prime or composite. Another thread Q2. I am saying you check the number is prime or composite. Another is saying the number is order even. So the code will be different from T1 and T2. But this run method, you have to write the logic. How? Suppose you are assigning to T1, you are inside a run method, you have to write the code. How it will check the number is prime or composite. Clear? So thread T1 को तुम क्या task देना चाहते हो? That you write inside the run method. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Still, let me repeat. Okay, so repeat it quickly. When you create a thread, first you extend from, there is two approaches. One of the approach, let me explain. You extend from the thread class. You define a class. Let's say the class name is main thread, that must extend from the thread class. And there you must implement or override one method, that is run method. And the run method should be this. You have to follow this signature. When you override, everything should be same. Public void run. If it is not public, also it will complain. Why? The access specifier should be less or same. That you know. Okay. So follow this public void run method. This run method need to be override. A run method कहाँ पे है? It is there in the thread class, and you are overriding over here. Overriding means तुम जो करना चाहते हो वो कोड लिखना पड़ेगा यहाँ. Or what task you wanted to assign to this thread, that you write over here. Okay. For simplicity, here I am just populating. This is my thread is running. Is that clear? First तुमको ये करना पड़ेगा. Is that clear? हो गया? This part is clear to all of you? किसी को भी डाउट है तो पूछो. हेलो.
सर ये वाला तो वही बात हो गया ना कि आप थ्रेड माई थ्रेड वाले क्लास में अलग अलग फंक्शन बना लो और फिर वो वर्ड पब्लिक स्टैटिक वर्ड मेन वाले में उसको ऑब्जेक्ट्स बना के आपको जो जो को कॉल करना है फंक्शंस को उसका वो कॉल कर लो माई थ्रेड में. वही वाला मतलब चीज है ना.
नहीं वैसा ठीक है. तो you just treat as a simple function. Run is not a simple function. I will come to that one.
सर बट वी कैन सर वी कैन मेक सर वो हम लोग अपना फंक्शन तो वहाँ बना सकते हैं ना माई थ्रेड में और उसको मतलब थ्रेड में असाइन कर सकते हैं, राइट?
हाँ, कोई फंक्शन कॉल कर सकते हो, बट ये रन इज नॉट ए सिंपल फंक्शन. लेट मी कंप्लीट है, जो एक्सप्लेन किया उतना हो गया ना, जो डाउट है दैट इज ऑब्वियस. ओके, यू आर सेइंग दिस इज a function, you can call a function, you can have number of function, you can have a function call like this. तो थ्रेड कहाँ मिल रहा है हमको, ऐसा डाउट हो रहा है ना तुम्हारा?
सर वो थ्रेड कहाँ नहीं मिल रहा सर, एक्चुअली आई एम सेइंग कि उसका ऑब्जेक्ट्स डिफरेंट डिफरेंट बना के सर वो अलग अलग मल्टीपल थ्रेड्स हो जाएगा और उसके बेसिस में जो कोड्स मेरे को रन करना है और वो हम रन करवा देंगे.
तुम थोड़ा आगे सोच रहे हो. अच्छा ठीक है, मैं आऊंगा. अभी जो जितना एक्सप्लेन किया वो क्लियर है ना? ठीक है, आगे बोल रहा हूँ, वो तो मैं एक्सप्लेन करूंगा. अप टू दिस इट इज क्लियर.
सर मल्टी थ्रेडिंग जो हो रहा है,
अगर
अगर
अभी तक मल्टी थ्रेडिंग मैंने किया नहीं. मल्टी थ्रेडिंग करने के लिए यू हैव टू एक्सटेंड फ्रॉम द थ्रेड क्लास ओवरराइड रन मेथड. रन मेथड में क्या करोगे?
अगर सर T1 डॉट स्टार्ट के बाद अगर T2 डॉट स्टार्ट होता.
नहीं, मैं अभी ये एक्सप्लेन किया नहीं. तुम लोग सभी इसमें क्यों आ रहे हो? इसको मैं नेक्स्ट जाऊंगा.
ओके सर.
ठीक है, अभी तक यहाँ पे गया नहीं मैं. अभी इतना फोकस करो, इतना हो गया कि नहीं. हमको एक न्यू, अगर थ्रेडिंग मल्टी थ्रेडिंग प्रोग्राम करना है तो इट वी मस्ट एक्सटेंड फ्रॉम द थ्रेड क्लास. ओके, क्लास माय थ्रेड, सपोज class name I am providing, must extend from thread class, and in thread class you have to override the run method. Run method में क्या है? What all tags you have to assign a thread that you have to write inside a run method. इतना क्लियर हुआ कि नहीं? पहले देखो, वो बाद में मैंने अभी तक यहाँ पे गया नहीं. तुम लोग इसका क्वेश्चन क्यों पूछ रहे हो? इसमें गया नहीं. अभी इसको लाइन बाय लाइन एक्सप्लेन करूंगा, तभी डाउट होगा तो पूछना. अभी दिस वन इज क्लियर. हेलो.
Yes sir.
Okay, let me complete this one. Okay, very good. So lots of questions are there. I have not yet explained this one. Okay, now what you can use. So you have a driver class, main method say. So one thread, when you have a main method, when the JVM execute this call this main method, then so one thread is running, that is your main thread. Please remember. Repeat. When JVM invoke main method, that means JVM is a program actually, process, and this process create a thread, that is the main thread. Till now, whatever we have used, what is that? Single thread, that is main thread. Now we are going to discuss or write the program where we can have multiple threads. Okay, JVM is a program or a process. This process will, when you execute the program, it invoke the main method, means it create a one thread, that is a main thread. Single thread is being created. Up to this, how many threads is created? This instruction, one thread is created, that is the main thread. Is that clear? Hello. Hello. Is that clear? Hello.
Yes sir.
Till now जो भी प्रोग्राम हम किए थे, कितना थ्रेड रन करा था? वन थ्रेड, दैट इज द मेन थ्रेड. So that is what one thread is created. Now क्या हो रहा है? I am creating object of my thread. किसका ऑब्जेक्ट कर रहा हूँ? My thread, and this my thread is extended from the thread class. That means this object, I am creating a thread. I am creating a thread. If I am creating two objects, two thread is being created. Three objects, three thread is being created. Clear? So I am creating object of my thread, right? New my thread. So this object of this class, and this class is extended from the thread class. That means one thread is created, that is T1.
सर दैट मीन्स कि वो मेन तो थ्रेड है ना, आप बोल रहे हैं सर, उसका एक और थ्रेड बन गया है T1.
It is creating another thread T1. Main,
Okay.
जैसे मेन थ्रेड है, another thread is created T1. JVM क्या करेगा? JVM मेन थ्रेड को हैंडल करेगा, T1 को. JVM पहले से कितना थ्रेड को डील कर रहा था? ओनली थ्रेड, मेन थ्रेड. नाउ JVM हैज टू डील विद अनदर थ्रेड T1. Thread is now, when you create a thread is now burn. It is in new burn state. One of the state is in a new burn state. Hello. Hello. Are you respond to?
Yes sir.
Thread is in new burn state. Now what I am doing over here, I invoke T1.start. बट स्टार्ट मेथड तो है नहीं, P1 का स्टार्ट मेथड है नहीं, इट इज ए कंफ्यूजन, राइट? You cannot see, you should not call run method directly. That means I should not call P1.run. If you call, what problem will arise, I will tell you. There is no compilation error. It will execute, but it will not solve the problem. I will come to that point. So let me repeat. You should not, please do not call P1.run. Okay? What we are calling? P1.start. But start method तो नहीं है. Can anybody answer? Is it right? P1 किसका ऑब्जेक्ट है? My thread का. My thread में start method नहीं है. Will it generate error?
थ्रेड में होगा.
थ्रेड क्लास में होगा.
Very good.
thread
So
class
it must be available in the thread class, right? P1.start must be available in the thread class. So that is why it don't give you any error. And this start method is responsible to invoke the run method. We are not going to call directly run method. Now question is why? If we call directly run method will work just like a general method. It's not a thread. It works just like a general method. Okay? If you run start method will invoke the run method. That means here you are giving instruction to the JVM. JVM is giving you instruction to the operating system, and it will generate a thread, and it will different stance of execution. In your process, one main thread is there, another new thread is there, set P1, and their instruction is different, and main thread instruction is different, and they can run parallel. This parallel execution work will continue. If you invoke run directly, that means only a single thread is there, main thread is there. It works just like a general method function call. So never ever try to call run directly. If you call it, it is not going to create a thread. It's just a general call, single thread is running. That means this run method is run under the main thread. Okay, so you call the start method will call the run method. When the start method calls the run method, that means the thread is now running state. When you call the start method, it is in, that means when you call the start method, that means you are sending signal that I want to execute this thread. Now thread is from newborn state to runnable state. Thread is in runnable state when you convert start method. From start, when the moment start invoke the run method, that means thread is in running state. That means you are giving instruction, thread is in the ready queue. So when the processor becomes free, the moment processor becomes free, the moment processor becomes free, the moment your processor becomes free, okay, it will assign this thread to this particular task. Then the thread is coming to the running state, runnable to running state. Is that clear?
Sir, last one what you said, sir, can you please repeat?
Let me repeat. You create one thread object. That means new thread is born. Newborn state. Right. The moment you invoke T1.start, what happens? When you invoke the start method, then thread is being created, and it will invoke the what? The start method which is available in the thread class, it will invoke the run method. You are not going to directly call run method. That means thread is being created. This is your JVM, this is your main method, and this is your thread. New thread is coming T1. So this instruction is different. Main method का instruction क्या है? Only this one. After this instruction, the instruction of the main thread is this one. The instruction for T1 is this run method, and they run parallel execution. We cannot say T1 will execute before main or main will execute before T1. It depends on the OS as well as this totally depends on the OS as well as JVM scheduling algorithm. Okay, total depends on OS and JVM. Actually, other programming language multi-threading concept is slightly different. Okay, here also JVM involved to deal with multi-threading. JVM and OS both. But other programming language only the OS take care about this kind of thing. Okay, so two thread is being created. We cannot say T1 will execute before main thread or main thread will execute before T1 thread. That is not in our control. Depends on the availability, depends on the resource use, depends on the ways. So which thread will execute first? Suppose here the output I have written main thread is running, then after that main thread is running. Okay, if you execute it repeatedly, it may happen that this one will execute first, this one second. Okay, don't surprise if this one is coming first, this one second. Do not surprise, because it depends on the scenario. Which one will execute first? It is not in our control. Okay, so let me repeat. When the moment you invoke t1.start, that means the thread is created. You want to start the thread. Okay, that means it is in runnable state. Thread is in runnable state. It is in ready queue. It is waiting for the processor to be. It is waiting for the processor. Once the processor is free, if your OS is assigned this thread, that means thread is in running state. Okay, so two threads are in the ready queue. There is a main thread as well as T thread. They are ready to execute. It depends on the scheduling algorithm. It will select one of the threads and assign to the processor. That selection is not in our control. Just simply we can request it. Yeah, I want to execute. Is that clear? Any doubt, please let me know. Very simple program. I have not written anything, only two things I want to populate. Okay, this one will populate by T1, the thread T1. This one will do by thread T1, and only one instruction there by main thread.
Sir, if we create say T2, then it will, if we write T2, so then if we write T2.start, then the same thing will run?
Same instruction. That means you are creating another thread T2, right? And the task kya assign kiya ho? Same task. You are not providing the different task. So this one will execute this twice.
सर तो सेम चीज को बार बार रन करने का क्या फायदा अगर आप अगर अलग अलग थ्रेड यस सर
गुड क्वेश्चन
सर यस सर वो थ्रेड अगर आप अलग अलग चीज के लिए प्रोसेस करने के लिए रखोगे तब ना कोई फायदा है और सेम ही चीज को रन करने के लिए रखोगे तो क्या फायदा
वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन दैट वी विल आंसर इन लेटर because ideally the threads should do different tasks. Whatever is said, that is correct. Right? How we can assign the thread to do different tasks, we will discuss gradually. Okay, don't worry. For simplicity, here these two threads is doing the same task, but ideally real life application, we are assigning different tasks to the different thread. That we will write. Can you tell me how can I create another thread and perform different tasks or assign different tasks? You suggest me? Can you suggest me? Hello.
Create another object.
No, if you create another object, it is doing the same task as he said.
Sir, like you can create different functions in that, sir. My thread class.
Let us test some program. You consider more clear. Notepad. Let us do some assignment, online assignment, so that you consider more clear. Okay, so file handling by Java thread 1. This one. Okay, I have already written. Okay, so here, if you execute it, what happens? Let me show you the output. Then after that, we will do the changes. Whatever you are saying, accordingly, you will do. CD, EKB, and Java C, and that is the class name is thread. Thread. City multi-threading area. Multi-threading is there? No. इसका डायरेक्टरी क्या है? अच्छा थ्रेडिंग CD थ्रेडिंग एक डायरेक्टरी बना है उसका अंदर थ्रेडिंग प्रोग्राम बना अच्छा ठीक है Java C thread -1 I think Java now you execute Java the class name is my thread main thread. Public static void main. Is the main method is different. Public static void main string
Class is driver.
सर ड्राइवर क्या है?
of class is driver itself. My main thread is running, my thread is running. The sequence may be different. Okay, so you cannot expect that always main thread is running, then my thread is running. Is that clear? Whatever I explained, that is clear. And another thing that you can create another thread, as I told you, that you can have something like this. Right? Let's say it is T2. Okay, so how many threads will be run here? Number of threads will run here when you execute it. Hello, the number of threads created over here.
3.
3. Very good. What are those? Main thread and T1.
Main
T2.
T1 and T2.
Very good. So main T1 and T2. So main thread is running, then main thread is running, main thread is running. And these two threads, T1 and T2, is doing the same task. Okay? But in real life application, we want to assign different tasks. We do not want to assign same task. So what modification is required? Whatever is, who asked this question? Your good name?
सर श्वेता.
Shweta. Shweta. Okay, that is a good question. So what modify we can do? Shweta, can you suggest me? Here it is two threads are doing the same task. I want to perform different tasks. What I can do is I can create another class, extend from the thread class the main thread 1 say. Right? So this 2 to T2 main thread 1 and in run method the other thread. Is that clear? Shweta?
Yes sir.
Okay, so you have another. See here, this run method is the code is different, and this run method is code is different. When you start T2.start, that means it will start this one. T1.start will do this. So you are assigning different tasks to the different threads. Okay, you can see here. C, then Java. Sorry, Java driver. Right? That is Java driver. Is that clear to all of you? Hello.
Sir, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the only way to
No, not necessarily.
create multiple threads?
Simplicity, I have done this. Even if in the same run method, I can receive the parameter here, conditionally say that yes, if this is the thread name or this is the thread ID, you do this, else you do this. That is the better approach to do. If the operation can be also decomposed here based on conditionally I can check and do that. I can have only define one class and assign different tasks to the different thread. Conditionally, I can put inside the run method. Or simplicity, you can define another. That I will do later on. For example, say whatever you have watched, that is correct. For example, we have a matrix, two matrices. I want to multiply these two matrices and assign to thread a different thread T1, T2. What your T1 will do? T1 take 50% of the matrix. Okay, इसको इसके साथ मल्टीप्लाई करेगा रिजल्ट. That means the resultant matrix T1 will do this part, T2 will do this part. So what I can do is the code segment is pretty much similar, isn't it? The code is multiplying matrix. That means you have to what you have to do? Row, each element of the row and each element of the column need to be multiplied and add, and the value should be updated. Okay, so what happened? It is updating this value. Then similarly, this value is being updated. So 50% is operated by P1, another 50%, suppose we are having 100 cross 100, so 50 cross 100 will be operated by T1, 50, next 50 cross 100 will be operated by T2. That means only the row number is different from this T1 and T2, and the operation is pretty much similar. Right? We are assigning, we are decomposing the task, but the operation is similar. Multiply I with Aik into Bkj. Okay, Aik, if A is the matrix, B is the matrix, matrix multiplication code क्या है? Matrix multiplication code क्या है? Cij is equal to, sorry, Cij equal to Cij plus Aik into Bkj. So this operation is common for thread T1 and T2. Only the based on the I and j, row and column, okay, based on the value of I and j, it will do this task. So we should not write this one repeatedly. The same things we can control, like say based on the value of I and j, the thread value of I and j, it will perform the task. The task is very much similar, common task, only it will act differently when based on the parameter ij. So we must understand how we can receive parameter here. Okay, the same task can be done. We should not write it repeatedly. That is not a right approach. So based on the problem, if the problem code are similar, you write inside the same run method. If they are dissimilar, completely different, then these two approaches. Are you getting my point? Hello.
Yes.
Suppose we are applying multi-threading. Suppose we are having a huge matrix. So what I am doing is this matrix has to be multiplied using multiple threads. So I can create a number of threads. For simplicity, I am creating only 2 threads. So first thread will do the 50% job. Second thread is 50%. Or you can say matrix addition also. Very simple. You can understand. That is your Cij equal to Aij plus Bij. So this will do this task, and another thread can concurrently do this. So finally, main, after this job is over, main will populate the regular matrix. This type of simple tasks you can try it today in your phone. Your concept will be more clear. Okay, please do this assignment. Here also so many things I have not yet discussed. Okay, that is concurrency issue will become, concurrent write can be a issue. So gradually we are going to discuss those kind of things. Okay, concurrent write will be a issue. Suppose this thread dead, main thread dead before doing this operation, what that problem arises? There are so many problem will arises. By the way, for the time you ignore those problem and solve it. Try to solve it. Okay, write a multi-threaded application that will add 2 matrix. Take this a simple task. Do it today. Is that clear? If it is clear, the rest of the concept we will discuss in the next class. Okay. So up to this, is it clear to all of you? Anybody having any difficulties, please let me know. Also, you can say I have already taken the attendance. Other can left also. Okay. I am not going to discuss any new concept. Anybody having any doubt, please wait and clarify your doubt. Hello.
सर रन में अगर डायरेक्टली आर्गुमेंट पास नहीं कर सकते हैं?
रन का वो ओवरराइड मेथड का मतलब क्या है? ओवरराइड मतलब जिसका सिग्नेचर जो है वही रखना पड़ेगा. You cannot change it. Otherwise, it is a different method. Override method, can you change the signature?
No, sir.
That means it is a different run method. It does not create a thread.
So that means सारा वैल्यू सर वहीं पे लेना पड़ेगा.
Value, क्या आ जाएगा ना, सपोज यहाँ पे एक वेरिएबल कर रहे हो, सपोज इंट ए।
हाँ मतलब क्लास का जो वेरिएबल होगा।
हाँ, क्लास का वेरिएबल तो वो यूज कर सकता है ना। सपोज ये
हाँ।
थ्रेड के लिए वेरिएबल डिफरेंट है, अदर थ्रेड के लिए डिफरेंट होगा। जब थ्रेड अपडेट कर रहे हो, वो कंस्ट्रक्टर रहते हैं, ए का वैल्यू इनिशियलाइज कर रहे हैं, वो ए बेस्ड ऑन द वैल्यू ऑफ ए रन विल वर्क डिफरेंटली, isn't it? This but gradually we are going to discuss. Your question is good question. Okay. You have already thought how to write multi-threaded application. This way you have already thought, that is why you are asking such type of question. A good question. That I will answer next. But today we focus on the fundamental. This part is clear to all of you. Other part will be easier for you. I will let you understand the very complex concept of multi-threading. ये कॉम्प्लेक्स कंसेप्ट इजी हो जाएगा एक बार फंडामेंटल क्लियर हो गया तो। Okay, anybody else, any doubt? Please. For example, यहाँ पे मैट्रिक्स मल्टीप्लिकेशन बोल रहा हूँ, आई एम गिविंग यू सम हिंट्स, int row, and you can provide column here. Okay, this row you can define a constructor here, main thread, undo, later on I will explain main thread. You can have this one. Okay, you can take the parameter row and column here. In row and column, you initialize it, and based on the row column, it will work. But the code segment is same, right? Right. Okay, let me stop today.